Live Premiership football from the JJB Stadium. It's Wigan against Arsenal this afternoon. We are, of course, interactive. Sky Digital viewers, push the red button on the remote control, follow the instructions. That's the menu page you'll find. Amongst the facilities player cam, Thierry Henry will be following first up. Match commentators, Andy Gray, who I know used to drink in the Shakespeare, and Martin Tyler.
From the 1400 or so, watched Wigan at their old Springfield Park when Dave Whelan took over, to 24,000 plus here in the state-of-an-art stadium. And Wigan play Arsenal for the first time. A sense of disbelief, but the home club are 5 points clear of the mighty team from North London. And they're ready to go. There is a great gulf in history and tradition, but today is about what happens on the pitch. There's Lee McCulloch, a central striker converted into a left-sided midfield player by Paul Jewell. Sol Campbell's header, and Kavanagh. Bringing Francis here. Under soil heating hasn't been needed for a while, and there's a bit of rustiness in the system. But certainly the pitch in thoroughly playable condition after a cold night up in the northwest. Kavanagh takes. Bullard playing it the way he was facing. Some applied to Osho, but he miscued somewhat. Here's Camera. Rory having trouble with the bounce, but answering the question. Kavanagh getting back.
Well, that's going to be the danger, you feel, if we're going to get a bit of pressure. That little breakout. If Henry and Van Persie had been able to get control of the ball a little quicker, and they were caught high up the pitch, the two centre-backs, that's danger. But they've started like a team of 6 out of 6. There's a spring about the step, there's energy about them. They're quick to everything.
Well, whatever happens here, they will still be second place in the table tomorrow morning. They could be overtaken by Bolton on Monday night. By Dizeo. Bit of defending early on for the Gunners, and Lauren only just diverted out. Well, it was there to be hit for Lee McCulloch.
Now as chances go, it's a half one. Just a nice little bit of movement between him and Roberts, little crossover. It's a half a chance.
Arsenal prepared to play it from the back. A short goal kick by Lehmann. Sol Campbell was only an England substitute, not used in Geneva last Saturday. Here's Pires. Henry, who has scored against all the clubs currently in the Premiership, except, of course, the two involved in this match. They've faced Wigan before and played a league game against Arsenal. Graham Poll is the referee. Yellow card for Kolo Toure after 3 minutes.
Well, that's an example of the pace that they have up front, Wigan. So they can rely on Camera and Roberts. You watch this, he's got strength, Roberts, he's got power, but he's also quick. And he's muscled and forced his way past Toure. It's a right to book him. No attempt to play the ball there.
Kolo Toure, you say some of the players were back at the start of the week, but Toure played against Italy for the Ivory Coast on Wednesday. And his return to Premiership play blighted an early missed-time challenge, and he's got to mind his behaviour now for a long time in this game. McCulloch, a bit of ball smuggling. Bullard, Chimbonga, of course, is outside him. Bullard plays the cross in towards the head of McCulloch. It drops for Francis. This is Camara. It's McCulloch.
What a chance. What a chance. Well, this has been a brilliant start from Wigan. They really tore at Arsenal and got them on the back foot from the first minute. It's not so much this one, but this one from McCulloch. It's not that difficult. He had time, he had a little bit of space, he's got enough ability. He just doesn't get enough on it. Maybe came at him a little quickly.
Paul Jewell expects, and his side have come quickly out of the blocks here. And while you were looking at that replay, Andy, Lehmann kicked the ball nervously out of play. Arsenal haven't begun yet.
I think they're still in that housing estate in the middle of Wigan by the looks of it, aren't they? You know, they got lost earlier on.
Ljungberg. Now Fabregas. Henry.
Oh, that's late. That'll be a booking.
Ordazeo.
Yeah, it's got to be a booking. After booking Torre, he's no option. Kazuya was never, ever getting to the ball. Drags him out here, Henry. You can see how late he is. It's quite a simple decision from Graham Paul.
Campbell loping forward, scored those 2 goals earlier this season against Everton. Henry takes it. And John Fallon finding the ball bouncing in front of him. And if Arsenal had any real goal-poaching about them...
That's terrible. Henry's asking a question, actually, Martin. He's looking there and he's pointing his hands and saying, what's happening? He's done the job. And this is always likely to happen today. Really cold, it's wet and damp. Someone's got a tap in if they wanted.
Roberts. Francis is offside. Lehmann saved it anyway.
There's still a threat, isn't it? Can't be much in this. He's about a yard. They get a good line, Arsenal. Look at that. Edge of the 18-yard box. Perfect. Simple decision for the linesman.
A back line that George Graham would have been proud of.
Yeah. The only thing George would have been disappointed, no arms up in the air.
Ljungberg. Here's Fabregas. Half an invitation to shoot. So trying to pass it through a rather congested Wigan line-up on the edge of the penalty area. Chimbonda, warmed by gloves and for the first time tights. That's too quick for Bullard.
I think they'll be quite happy to let Chimbonda go. The natural instinct for him is to run forward. And he doesn't seem worried about what he's leaving behind. I just wonder if at one time in the match or a couple of times that they're going to lose it and just find Henry very quickly.
Pascal Chimbonda has been saying in French, but it's translated as "I am not designed for cold weather." Coming from the French Caribbean with Guadeloupe. He looks designed for Premiership football.
He certainly does.
Here's the stand-in left-back, Pascal Seagal.
This is what they've done quite well as well, Wigan, when they haven't had the ball. They've been prepared, you know, to take a gamble, Martin, and play high up the pitch and put pressure on the back four. At the moment, that's worked okay for them. Arsenal haven't been able to exploit it. He's a little agitated, Arsene Wenger. But I don't think his team have started. I don't think they've settled yet at all, Arsenal. And partly because Wigan really got started very brightly.
Held his position. There's no flag against him. Hard for handball by Fabregas, not seen that way by Graham Poll, who's fitting in a rare domestic assignment while he's overseas refereeing. He's back from a World Cup playoff in Prague, heading off for Champions League duty.
That's very nice of him to fit in a Premiership game. Thanks, Graham. Well done, mate.
He's got the World Club Championship coming up in Japan in December.
No, that's typical of passing of Arsenal at the moment. Not quite good enough.
Well, another factor, of course, that this is not the Highbury billiard table, is it?
That's not bad. I have to say, the ball's running across it very nicely.
Seagull. Camera. Good sprinkling of these Wigan players have faced Arsenal before in the colours of other clubs. Which, of course, won an FA Cup final against the Gunners in 2001.
Played well in goal that day, didn't he?
Yes,
if I remember rightly.
He got away with a handball by the post, didn't he? And there's a story to that involving Graham Poll, because Thierry Henry later had a real go at Graham Poll, who he thought was the referee in that cup final, which was Steve Dunn. A mistaken identity by Henry after that match against Newcastle at Highbury later in 2001. Graham Poll wasn't very impressed, I don't think, by the story. But it was Stefan Anchaud. Haven't heard what Steve Dunn thought about it. Lauren's throw. Toure. Ljungberg, who's had some wisdom teeth removed, as well as being in need of treatment for hamstring strain. Covered in there behind Chimbonda with Bullard. Campbell. Still trying to put one or two passes together, and a lovely turn past De Zeu and his fellow Dutchman Robin van Persie, and it goes through John Filan, and really with the first shot in anger, first shot that's been really properly hit. Robin van Persie continues his tremendous recent run.
Brilliant turn, but the goalkeeper should save it, and he'll know it. This is a danger if they get the top two in the game, Martin, against the back four. That it's a simple turn, but they can't get back, they don't have the pace. But that's bread and butter. It moves a little, and when it's down at your feet like that, it's never a bread and butter save, but it's one that John Filan will think he should have made, that's for sure. It's the first real attack in anger from the Gunners, but that's maybe the difference.
It's been a jubilant week for any Australian involved in football, but John Filan, a goalkeeper who's not in the current Socceroos squad, but maybe thinking about making a burst over the second half of the season to win a place in Germany, hasn't helped his cause here. But De Zeu, having been booked, couldn't do anything drastic to stop Van Persie at the turn. There's a shot that if goalkeepers ever thought that way, could have kicked away, really.
Absolutely. Well, there's lots to do that, and quite rightly so. It's an easiest thing to do. But it did dip, and it did swerve a little. But you'd still expect a goalkeeper to save it. That's why the disappointment was all over John Filan's face. But this is a test. If Paul Gill thought this wasn't really the start of a big test, I think he knows now it really is.
So it's now 6 in 5 in Van Persie's run. And he struck it, whatever the goalkeeping deficiencies were, he struck it with a confident air.
Well, he didn't even look for Ljungberg. He actually should have slid Ljungberg in, if I'm being absolutely honest with you. Who was in acres of space, just left of him and threw in goal. And had John Filan made the save, you can bet Ljungberg would have let Van Persie know.
Perez and Henry and Wigan have got problems again. Even though Henry's got to wait for support, it's arriving now. Van Persie and back with Perez. Ljungberg by the far post. Van Persie has just put it wide.
Super effort. Not a lot they can do here. They're high up the pitch, but also trying to get back. It's exactly what Arsenal would want to do. Lovely support play all round from Arsenal here. It's a great effort. It's the old saying, the goals don't move. Van Persie knows that, and he's just turning and hoping he's going to find the far corner. Playing with a confidence about him now.
Henry able to take it down. And suddenly there's a real menace about Arsenal.
Well, they took it down. It's quite simply because they're frightened of going too near him. He turns beyond them, so they drop off, and I think that's probably the right decision. Just drop off and say, go on then, at least we're back in there, and you still have to do something.
The early goal has almost set it up for Arsenal. They know Wigan will press on. They're so good at putting their football together on the counter-attack. And remember, they're looking for their first away win in the Premiership this season.
To be fair, they've played most of them, apart from the Chelsea game, without the man in the ball now, Thierry Henry.
Well, he's seen the goalkeeper, who might just be a little bit short of self-belief. He wouldn't say that about Henry. He saw Phelan off his line and trying to deliver a dipper.
Well, it's worth it. I mean, there's a huge distance out.
It's a huge distance wide.
Yeah, it was.
He hasn't scored an away goal in the league since February. It's a surprising statistic. But he has missed a number of games, as you've rightly said, Andy. Good untidy from Roberts. Cam on offer for Sky Digital viewers, and the subject at the moment is Wigan's Jason Roberts. Perez. Guzzo. Down by Baines. Trying to get in behind Toure, which he managed to do. The ball didn't drop for him, but they're collected by Francis. McCulloch. Against Lehmann, who played for Germany against France last weekend and kept a clean sheet in the Stade de France. Still fighting tooth and nail for that #1 berth for his country. Found Bullard going for the same ball. Bonda with the interception. Bullard. Good movement by Camera. Off one-footed McCulloch.
The layoff didn't match the movement. It's been over a year since Wigan lost a game by more than one goal, which suggests that in that year they've kept themselves in games. And I think that's the important thing now, having conceded the early goals, that they do keep themselves very much in the game. Because Arsenal have I think, a confidence and a form about them now that they probably didn't have a month ago.
Well, we talked about their defeats, but a lot of them were early in the season, and they've lost only one of their last 12 games in all competitions. Van Persie. Delighting with the drag-backs.
He didn't delight his skipper, Mr. Henry, I can assure you, Mr. Tyler. I looked up and he just wanted it slid through, and it didn't come.
Get a pass now from Fabregas. Thought about going it alone. He was wondering where Ljungberg was as well, whether he might intervene. Chimponda. All the way across on the cover. Gilberto. Lauren. And Henry. Arsenal starting to pick some passes and pick some holes in Wigan at the back. There's a tackle with an air of desperation about it a moment or two ago from Ancho on Henri. Pires, nothing wide at the moment to him. Lauren's got there now. Well, Andy, you said it often enough, goals change games. Yeah. A game that Wigan had begun with real gusto. And now Arsenal have profited from Van Persie's strike. They are the team radiating the confidence and looking the more likely to score again.
Well, they're suddenly finding the target now with the passes that they weren't doing the opening, the opening 10 minutes or so before the goal. Well, maybe not that passes.
No, it's another misplaced kick from Lehmann. Baines. That goes up against Roberts. Greg and Seagull working well together. Shaped left side for Arsenal today. Gilberto, that's beautifully measured for Fabregas, and likewise for Henri, and Arsenal have picked their way through to lead at Wigan by 2-0, and Henri has his away goal in the Premiership, and it's come at the JJB Stadium.
Well, whatever you say about Arsenal, form is temporary, class is permanent, and that's exactly what they show in this goal. Absolutely top drawer. Wigan have learned a lot, but they're learning what the really top players in this league can do to you when they're on form, when they're playing with confidence, and when they're as good as this guy here. It looked routine, but that's because the movement was so good and Wigan had no real answer to it. Does that make him 100% now? Teams in this league that he scored against?
Apart from Arsenal.
Apart from Arsenal.
It does. And it's taken him just over 20 minutes to add Wigan to his list of victims. They've actually got another target for the club, to be their top league scorer. Not in a moment, because Cameron crosses here. Oh, Damien Francis is just reaching back for a ball. If it had been in front of him, they might have been celebrating getting one back.
When the back four are asking who the midfield players is actually tracking Damien Francis, it's only just behind him, and that's why he couldn't quite wrap his foot around it. I think Fabregas is the closest player here, but he lets Francis get in front of him, and it's only just a fraction behind him. He was a little early with the swipe at it. That didn't help him either.
Deseo, but it only drops for Pires, who's past McCulloch, or should have got past McCulloch.
It's a free kick, isn't it?
It's a definite free kick. Campbell's challenge. That must have been close to being a free kick.
The referee indicated he got the ball. It's the only reason it wasn't.
Toure, Pires taking over. Everybody wanting the ball for Arsenal now. Something of a 10-minute lesson in Premiership life for Wigan. Now, Thierry Henry has now scored 143 league goals for Arsenal. Cliff Bastin, the all-time record, with 150 for the club. So there's another landmark looming.
That's gone this season, I feel. Stays fit. It's another Henry record.
You meant this year, rather than this season.
Yeah, well, it might be if he keeps playing the way he's playing. It might well be this year, certainly this season.
Roberts. Henry on the Wigan side, Henri Camara. Just checked to stay onside. Wigan have to throw.
I think it's a good little example for players, though. Toure didn't try to do anything fancy. He just knocked out a play, allows Arsenal to get back, get regrouped, and deal with the cross.
Ballard's cross. Tommy Ballard up well again. They have to defend it with Campbell. Kavanagh.
Well, pretty even in attempts at goal. And the important thing is hitting the target in this game, and that's exactly what they've done, Arsenal. Might have had 3 had somebody followed in Henry's free kick as well.
Van Persie shot just wide.
Yeah.
They've been very meaningful attempts, the Arsenal ones. Campbell in the lead by 2 goals to 0 in front of the biggest crowd for a match with a round ball here at the JJB. No wonder Arsenal were caught in the traffic. It's the biggest traffic it's been for a Wigan Athletic match here. The rustiness from the late arrival lasted about 15 minutes. Olsho. Now Bates. Paul Joel did say to me yesterday, I've only got one real fear, and that's that if Arsenal turn on the style, they could beat us by plenty. They can beat anyone by plenty on their day. We'll be pondering those thoughts maybe at the moment. 2 goals have gone into the side that had the best defensive record at the start of the day.
2 goals of ease as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
Goes to Zay, who was in a Barnsley team that lost 5-0 at Highbury, a Portsmouth team that lost 5-1 in an FA Cup tie to Arsenal at Fratton Park. Bates. He's got away from the cock. Now Francis. Lundberg tucking in to make the tackle. Van Persie. And 3 Wigan players went for him. None of them interrupted his progress. Haynes gets a challenge in on Perez, and Olsho was there to help out as well. There's one in behind Toure for Camera to chase. Lehman to see off, rather impetuously perhaps. There's been a lot of talk about the work ethic here at Wigan and the team spirit, and that really is being challenged by Arsenal today.
That's a huge test. The the thing is togetherness for them, and not whatever happens in this game, and it's far from over. Whatever happens is to go on from here. You learn more from losing in football, I have to say. I think you do, and it's easier when you're just winning games and trotting out every week, but you have to really look and search when you start losing games, and Paul Joel will be very conscious of that. He won't want that to start happening.
Chris Hutchings, his assistant. Together at Bradford, of course, and did have a win over Arsenal in partnership with Bradford City. And Camera has got a goal here. Don't write Wigan off just yet in this match.
Well, it only takes a second. Ooh. And that's all it's taken, but somebody's in trouble here. Was it a swipe at Fabregas, I think? Was it a kick, something like that? But certainly Graham Paul looked to have seen it. But this is a real flashpoint. It happens because Fabregas had got the ball. And he wouldn't release it, and it's a booking.
That's out for Roberts. But then Fabregas came head-to-head with Camera, and Fabregas's spark out, or certainly laid out. Lehman's talking it up on behalf of his teammate.
Well, he's volatile, Lehman, isn't he? He's always quick to react on that. But right back in it at Wigan. Well, that looks like all that's going to happen. I think he's saying that he barged him rather than there was any head contact. That seems to be what Graham Paul's saying. It was a barge and not a contact of heads.
He's saying to Fabregas, I booked the Wigan player.
Man, but this is a goal Arsenal really shouldn't concede. They've got 3v1 at the back post and they don't win the header. But give Camera full marks. He took a gamble, he took a chance, he went in between a couple of players, and it's a fantastic little finish. Jean Dezou wins a big header for his team there, and this is where it all went off. That's it, Roberts, as the barge.
He barged him into camera.
Yeah.
It is Wigan 1, Arsenal 2. Talked about Thierry Henry, now it's Henri Camara who's centre stage.
Well, what a good half hour we've had, eh?
We have.
What a good half hour.
Just to confirm, a booking for Roberts, who went hunting the ball from Fabregas, who probably really wasn't entitled to hang on to it for as long as he did, but
I don't think there's any need to go hunting the ball, no, honestly. You know, bags of time, it's game can't start.
This is the way to hunt the ball, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
The game has restarted. And Wigan are doing that, and the flicks and tricks coming out from Henri Camara. Maybe that's a bit premature, they've only got one back.
No, but they're back, and that's the important word that you used there.
And Chimbonda's not picked up. It's still Pascal Chimbonda, charged down by Pascal Sigan, crossed by Bullard, and a lot of disappointment in blue and white stripes in the middle that didn't stay in play.
Football's an amazing game, you know. Flat as a pancake at 2-0 down Wigan. Looking like they were really in for a torrid afternoon, and then a free kick later, they're back in it, and suddenly they're swarming all over Arsenal again. Look at the blue and white shirts in there looking for something.
Jason Roberts is very much one of the main men in the dressing room here. He's not the captain of the team, but he carries a lot of clout. There's a misapplied clout on Fabregas that saw him booked. And it's a mistake by Gilberto, and Roberts is away. Roberts is away! And Arsenal, can they get it away just as Bullard tried to sprint in? Kolo Touré beat him to it.
Oh, this is great stuff. Can't take your eyes off it. And the front two trouble him again, simply because of the strength and their pace. And I wondered, maybe could he have hit it at the end? He does, but it's not strong enough.
A little back header from McCulloch.
Oh, what a poor throw. What a poor throw.
Arsenal are rattled. Chimbonda. Cabinet. Pressed by Fabregas. Zayou keeping his head. But the point you made right at the start, Andy, Jason Roberts very, very quick. Not perhaps one of the most natural finishers, but he had Arsenal in his wake. Just couldn't dig out a scoring shot at the end. Put it on by McCulloch, just a bit too long. Sigan. Here's Henry. And I think it was maybe worth a telling off. It might be a booking for Cabinet.
He'd have taken a booking, yeah, I have to say, because he knows alarm bells are ringing. They've got Henry running at his back four again. He knows that. He's not daft, he's experienced enough. And he's just thinking, all right, I'll just trip him up here. You can see he's not really trying to make any contact with the ball at all. I think he'd accept that, Graham Canning.
Takes the card.
Yeah.
So pleased to be back in the Premiership. He had a taste of it with Middlesbrough, and actually was in a Middlesbrough team that beat Arsenal in the very first Premiership season, 92-93. Really careful, Wigan. It's about the balance now, because they don't want to go 2 goals behind again.
No, they're back in it. That is the most important thing.
Archer. Drop it over Sigan. And ball by Sigan, just rolled it away, not far enough to get himself into trouble, but again, just to show that Arsenal suddenly have got frowns back on their faces, as was the case until they went 1-0 up when Wigan were calling the tune. So, cheap offside then.
What we've found is that both teams have had big parts of the game. You know, they started well. Roberts and Camara were proving a handful. Then Arsenal took over, then they've hit back again, and this is typical of what the front two can do. But he doesn't quite get this shot. You can see how he scuffs it. Bullard can't quite get in there. Somehow they get it away.
And Percy, Ingber was just loitering with real intent, wondering whether he could burst through. And Percy happy that Graham Paul saw nothing wrong, and he can be a bit of a powder keg. Perez. That'll be a free kick to Wigan.
Yeah, he just looked at him. Van Persie just edged into Desiree. You watch this, you see he just looks at him. Just a little nudge there, it's a free kick. Of course it is.
35 terrific minutes. Premiership is back, and including today's fare on Prem Plus from 5. West Brom against Everton, also live. Baines with a free kick. Zayu, Francis. They've got themselves within range. Arsenal are not defending a dead ball situation particularly impressively.
Well, this is poor, because a dead ball, you know you get yourself back, so one time you can get organised defensively, and quite simply, Desailly's been too good for Seagan. That was a combination. It was important for the goal that Wigan got back.
Osher, camera. More stretch to try and control it than a flick on.
I just think that Sol Campbell has got to take control of that at the back and see if it's a free kick, then listen, you get in, I'm going to take him, because that's obviously who they're aiming for.
Perez has stayed on the right. Van Persie. Quicker off the mark than Desailly. Osher again with another barnstorming tackle. It needed to be. Wigan might have another goal in them, but you certainly feel that Arsenal should have. They can keep the poise in their passing. Gilberto. It's a mesmerising football match. Forward by Campbell. And Lindbergh able to take it down. Henry just waiting to make sure he was reading his teammate's mind. And then Chimbonda had an arm out, but was anything even just spreading himself, or he didn't like it just for a second. Gilberto. Seagull. A little bit of keep ball for Arsenal here. Perez. Toure. Lauren. Wigan doing what Paul Jewell describes as filling their holes defensively. And it's Francis in the right place. It was on.
Not the best ball. And Damien Francis, to be fair.
All right. Now Buller. Kavanagh. Cry from the crowd to try and tell him that Perez was arriving.
That was a lovely ball, you know, because Olney indicated that he wanted the ball played in there, and then suddenly for some reason put the brakes on. He's just apologising to Perez because he knows it was a good ball. And plenty of attempts in this opening 40 minutes or so. And only the one on target. Sometimes, well, it's not sometimes. Of course, that's the difference at this level. Never hit the target.
Roberts. McCulloch, who's been one of the guilty men off target. took a touch off Lauren's head. He gets the throw. Baines was brushed aside by Fabregas. Arsenal would go third if they were to win this, maybe only for a couple of hours. Robin van Persie now the subject of player cam for Sky Digital viewers. Via the red button on the remote, it's still red, not red current. Changed it for Arsenal. Seagull, Henry. Kimbonda was lunging in. And we saw Pascal Seagull lurking on the left. Bullard, could have been a free kick.
I think there were 2 or 3 in all honesty. That could have been free kicks, but because they managed to keep possession, Arsenal, I think Graham Paul just tried to keep the game going.
Yeah, all credit to him for doing that. Yeah. What he has to deal with, of course, if Arsenal get a little bit overcooked on it. Sometimes they burn with a sense of injustice, but they've got the free kick here, and certainly it's in a position which Henry will like.
Well, the 2 front men with a goal apiece are over the ball. Certainly made for either of them.
Haaland's had some nervous moments from shots, and he's beaten again. Henry just stands and waits for his teammates to come and congratulate the master.
That sounds perfect. Anything that hits the woodwork and ends up in. Just how late does he see it? How quickly does he move for it? It's a brilliant free kick. It's got bend, it's got accuracy, it's got everything you need, and enough pace. I think the goalkeeper moves quick enough, but the quality's there for all to see. This boy's just different class. Different class.
World class.
Yeah. And even that might not be good enough to describe him.
Universal class.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Hint of a smile. Unstoppable. Goalkeeper set up walls to try and do their best on that side. Farley was in a decent position, wasn't he, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't fault his position. I mean, it was far enough out for him to have dealt with it. If it was a foot off the post, I'm sure he would have saved it. The fact is, it's clipped the inside of the post. And that's a small difference between success and failure. Success for Arsenal, failure for Wigan, and a set piece.
He's on a first-half hat-trick here. He hasn't got that much time.
Did you mention something that hadn't scored an away goal for how long?
Since February in the league. Yeah. Like buses in North London. Yeah. You don't get one for a while and then in quick succession. But he is a genius, Thierry Henry. And when you get into the Premiership, as Wigan are going to find out from time to time this season, there are a few others of his ilk around as well.
Not many, to be fair. Not many.
A few. A few in your new universal category. You can pick out 1 or 2 for the last word. But it was a defining moment of Henry's talent, and maybe a defining moment in this match.
Yeah, you feel that just before half-time. And you see how far out he is. I mean, he takes his time, he's got the pace, looks at the referee. Yeah, enough? He almost said good enough, didn't he there?
Great pictures.
I think good enough sums it up, son.
There he is again. Oh, and Van Persie, he's looking for his second, and Farland to the rescue this time.
Oh, he makes a good save. Oh, that's the trouble. I mean, we talk about Henry's pace, but Van Persie's nippy as well. And he's quick, good feet. Looks to get in behind as well. Gives you all sorts of problems too. This has been a great first half. For all sorts of reasons. It's shown us everything that's made Wigan what they are this season. that's shown us the class and ability of Arsenal in spasms in this game. There's just been too much for Wigan. But they're digging in. They'll have to do the same again.
Raymond with his own way of running down the clock. Deseo. One thing you know about Wigan, they won't buckle. And here is Lee McCulloch. And Bullard, Arsenal have gone away from him. Jimmy Bullard picking away through. They certainly won't buckle.
What a first half we're seeing here today. The strengths and weaknesses of Arsenal and the strengths and weaknesses of Wigan all on show so graphically in this first half. They're all over the place, Arsenal here. They don't win a header. Seagan gets sucked into an area where maybe being a centre half. That's why. But Bullard's composure here, absolute top drawer. If we'd have been wearing an Arsenal shirt, we'd have been eulogising about it. It's a fantastic finish. What an important time, right on half-time.
Astonishing. Jimmy Bullard deemed not good enough at West Ham. His local club had to go to Peterborough and then given a chance to come up the ladder with Wigan, showing that he fits in the Premiership. And here's the final goal in this marvellous first half, going to be scored by Wigan Athletic. Until the half-time whistle goes, we can't be sure of that. It's been a real roller coaster ride. And as someone who was lucky enough to be in Geneva last Saturday, well, it's a blessing to be at the JJB this Saturday lunchtime. And here's Camara. And they're facing a situation where Arsenal might not even be in front at half-time. It's the time, though, for the corner to be taken.
Well, isn't it nice to have it back? It's been a long 2 weeks, but it's been worth the wait.
We have been a bit short on corners, but we get one before the half-time whistle, and Lehmann gets one. Where do we go from here? The down-to-earth approach of Paul Jewell has kept Wigan, his attitude that the team are exemplifying here. Weaker brethren would have been beaten by some of the calibre of Arsenal's play in this first half, and the greatness of Henry in particular. Baines.
Weaker characters would have been gone as well. I tell you, they've got character. They're showing that in bucketfuls this first half, Wigan. It's a first half you really don't want to stop. You want to say to Graham Paul, forget half-time, just play the full 90.
Just turn round and keep going. In from Kavanagh, but not far enough. The referee has played his part as well. He's shaking to blow the half-time whistle, but not just yet. And Lehmann's only punched it up in the air. And the effervescent Chimbonda. And with the Seagull at his back, get up, says England's most experienced referee. Half-time, breathless stuff. 2 for Henry. Arsenal turned on the style after Wigan had started fast but didn't score. And they were 3-1 in front when Jimmy Bullard breathed new life into the game with a wonderful goal. Camara had scored early at 2-0 to make it 2-1. Robin van Persie had started it. Almost defies description here. But it is the essential ingredient of Wigan, who will not lie down, and no respecters of reputation in their first ever season in the top flight. And Arsenal have been pushed into the realms of the glorious football they can play, but they haven't defended very well, as reflected in this half-time scoreline of Wigan 2, Arsenal 3.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Jamie Redknapp, Niall Quinn are with us. Thoroughly enjoyed that. We may not have time to discuss everything required when we come back. But what a fabulous first 45 minutes. It's Wigan 2, Arsenal 3. With Middlesbrough and Fulham. It's a 3:30 start. Well, I think that's probably the best 45 minutes of football we've seen this season. Do you agree?
It's been great. It's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, we came in, we knew there was sort of adventure in this team at Wigan. We knew there was character, but they've showed even more perhaps in that half. Brilliant.
To go 2-0 down against Arsenal as well, and they were playing some really good stuff at the time, and the character they showed to get back into it has been, it's been applaudable. It's been brilliant.
And in fairness to Arsenal, they have been, when they've felt like it, majestic, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, they started off very sloppy first 10 minutes. This is all about the first touch. Look at that first touch from Van Persie there. Cuts inside, takes another touch and hits it straight at John Fine.
He shouldn't be, though, in truth, should he? I mean, Freddie Ljungberg is waiting for that, isn't he?
Yeah, but John Fine will be very disappointed with that. He's come straight, and the ball was moving, but he'll know that he should have saved that.
At 2-0, you thought that was game, set and match, didn't you?
Yeah, and it was a fantastic second goal as well. It was Arsenal, you know, majestically at their best. I mean, it's a lovely weighted ball there that the centre half couldn't come out, but the little step he took gave Henry a yard. Next ball threaded through, and it was just so simple, out of nothing. It's what Arsenal can do. They can just create a little bit of magic that, you know, other teams just cannot deal with. And 2-0, it looked, oh, this could be a real problem for Wigan now. What do? Do you just shore things up, hopefully not concede? But no, they came back with character. The centre half goes up to try and retrieve a situation, wins a great header to you, and that typifies really Wigan for me. Kamara gets through 3 Arsenal jerseys, 2 there and the goalkeeper, and wants to win the ball and scores.
Is the little fracas much ado about nothing?
Yeah,
very good.
I mean, the problem you get, Richard, is, and it happens so often, you get so many players. That Chimbonda comes from nowhere. Look, he's made a 50-yard run to get involved. I don't think they need to, but Lehmann is guilty of that. He does get involved sometimes in the situation, but you know that detracts from the game. The game of football has been amazing.
Let's talk about the football, because it has been terrific.
It passed off, and the referee did a great job there.
Here comes the third, Arsenal's third, Thierry Henry's second. Yeah. Should we have expected this?
Well, when he took it, I thought it took an awful long time to go in. It wasn't the hardest free kick, I thought, but on reflection, looking at it from various angles, the goalkeeper sees it when he can, but it's just so perfectly in. I mean, any more left and the ball comes out off the post. That's how good it was, and that's how difficult it was for the goalkeeper. But, you know, again, Thierry.
In fairness to Martin Tyler in commentary, he did say one thing we know about Wigan is they won't lie down, and right on the back of that, they come back with their second.
It's a great goal. Andy was spot on. Pascal Segan, keep your eye on him, left back. He gets caught inside here, and he's a left back. He shouldn't be going in for that ball. McCulloch does ever so well, manages to dig a pass out to Jimmy Bullard, goes to shape, chops it back inside Sol Campbell, and it's a fantastic left foot shot. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Sol Campbell's one of the best, one of the hardest defenders to beat as well.
I very seldom have seen Sol Campbell, you know, sold so easily. We looked at it there and thought, you know, was that?
It was last ditch, no, wasn't it? It was last ditch because he'd realised he had to make a 20-yard run to get into where Pascal Segan's to be. So he thought he'd throw himself at it.
Yeah, but it was wonderful
great
composure.
Piece of skill.
Wonderful.
They did give him a ticket to get back in with Campbell.
That's what we said.
He is back second half. It's been fabulous stuff. Wigan trailing, but don't go away. You cannot take your eyes off it. 3-2 the Gunners.